Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Doctor's Notes podcast by Doc's Castle Media, a podcast I created to share the notes of one of my favorite reality shows ever, Big Brother USA. I'm your host, Doc, and I'm here to talk BP perspective from Doc's point of view. So here we go. All right, let's discuss the double eviction episode. We start off this episode with America and Cameron being on the block, and Cameron is still the target. Jared is still the HOH, and we're trying to decide whether we're going to send America or Cameron home. We all know that Cameron is really like public enemy number one right now in the house, so it's most likely that Cameron's going home. But because this is a double eviction episode, we don't get that much dialogue as far as like the background as to when he's getting put out of the house. And it's just pretty much all gameplay. So as far as this podcast and the way it's going to go, it's probably going to be pretty short. I don't have that much to talk about because I don't want to really talk about the games. That's you guys' job to actually watch the episode to see it. I just want to talk about like the positions or where the house is going to go. It's honestly going to be a recap for this episode and not so much of an update on what we really want to or what we expect. I mean, you watch the show for yourself and you figure it out. But anyway, I think the only thing that I picked up in the dialogue prior to the double eviction or live eviction portion of the episode was we see that Sari wants to win the HOH really, really bad. So she's talking to Mimi on the side in this episode, basically explaining how she feels that she needs to be winning the HOH because there's the possibility that Jared's gone. And Jared, she's playing with Jared. So she feels that she's in danger, and she probably feels as though Jared's in danger. So she is really talking to Mimi about possibly going for that HOH. Honestly, everyone is going for the HOH right now. Mimi thinks Sari is best for her game. So if the game had revealed that Sari had won, Mimi's working with her in their favor. So Nicole, I think, really does need to win a competition so that we can get a clear understanding of where she is in the house right now. We just know that from last episode that she made a final two alliance with Miss Felicia. So we just know that she's working with her, but we don't know necessarily the stance that neither one of them are actually playing right now. Felicia has been turned on, or she feels as though she's been turned on by Sari. So she honestly might not be working with her as closely as she was before. But it's interesting, and I just want to see someone else win. We also saw that Blue and Jag had a conversation. Oh, no, not Blue and Jag. Blue and Matt had a conversation. They had a conversation as about who should be targeted next week. And Matt wants to target Jared, and he's pretty sure that the rest of the alliance that they developed from the last episode wants to target Jared too. But Blue, she does not feel comfortable targeting Jared because she sees Jared also as still a good asset to her game. She can't do that. There is a way that when it comes down to the vote that she could vote him out, but there is a possibility that she just can't blatantly put him on the block. And Matt wants to let her know that it has to come to a point in the game where she has to be ready to let Jared go. So they had that talk, and that was basically revealed. But we got a transmission from the Scaryverse, and the transmission was very jumbled and all over the place, so no one really knew what it meant. But we found out during the double eviction episode that transmission is supposed to be for the Scaryverse and the double eviction announcement. So it was announced to them, and we went straight to voting. The first person to leave, and of course, since we saw American Cameron being on the block, it was Cameron, and it was a unanimous vote for him, and he was not surprised when it came to his exit interview. It's 8-0. He knew he was going to be out and unanimously because he's just been a target since week 2. So he's finally out. But is he out of the game? It is revealed by Julie that it's a possibility he's not out of the game. They're entering a new twist into this game. And I'm going to later talk about that later, just like they did on the episode, talk about it later. But Cameron is gone, and we're left with people having to compete in the HOH competition. The HOH competition, also from the Scaryverse, and it's called Soulmates. During this HOH competition, basically the house guests will face off. They get to choose who they want to face off with to knock each other out of the competition. They look at dating profiles and which of the 3 soul suitors are best matched for a particular person or a zombie or whatever creature that is on the screen. They have to read that, and then whoever answers the fastest is the person that gets to choose who they want to face off to. The last one remaining out of everyone is the winner of the HOH competition. And when we see in this competition, what we find out mostly is everybody is trying to basically get Sari out of the house. Sari is they're trying to knock her out. I think she went up there probably, 3 times until she finally was knocked out. Everybody kept putting her out, up to be faced against, when they finally got her out. But ultimately, the winner of the competition was Corey. And, Corey revealed last week that he automatically was going to just get Jared out of the competition. Like, he already was going after Jared after their whole blowout. So, Corey, with his win, we just knew that Jared was going to be one of the people that he put on the block. But we didn't know who was going to be the second person. Because he's working with Blue, it became evident that the second person was going to be Blue. Because Blue will be the person that will win the veto and probably try to save Jared if it would be another person to play veto for his sake. And Jared probably could convince Blue to get him off the block. So for the safety of Corey's game, he decides to put Blue up next to Jared during this double eviction so that she would not have that opportunity. This is her opportunity to prove that she is loyal to the alliance that they have created, which I talk often about how there are mainly 2 people alliances in this house. Well, let me tell you that there is one 5-person alliance that is going on right now in the house, and that includes Corey, America, Jag, Matt, and Blue. And they are working to try to, I guess, get Jared's side of the house out, which is Jared and Sari. They're just basically tired of being manipulated, tired of being played with, and the whole 7 deadly sins and for real alliance debacle, all of that stuff just basically put a sore in the house. So with this new 5-person alliance that doesn't have a name, they just don't even need to give names anymore. They reign supreme during the double eviction, and basically it's a clear understanding, honestly, why Blue is picked to put next to Jared, because she's working with this 5-group alliance. She's basically trying to prove that she can be trusted to the rest of the people that's in her group, and that's the case. So when it comes down to the veto competition, the people that competed in the live veto competition was Jared, Corey, Blue, Matt, Mimi, and Jag. So anyway, Blue still has to compete in the veto competition because she is a nominee. But the thing is now, if she was to win the veto, she probably would save herself, most likely save herself before Jared. So the next person that would go up would be Sari. Because during the talks that Corey was having with the people in his alliance during the switch up, while this double eviction was going on, I heard that Corey was throwing out Sari's name to go up next to Jared. So, in the case of Blue actually winning the veto, I'm pretty sure that Sari would probably be the one that goes on the block next to Jared. And this will be a very close vote. Or would it be? I don't know. It'll just be a vote that we wouldn't for sure know about, and it probably wouldn't have been a smart one to do during the double eviction. So I guess it's just easier to have Blue next to Jared anyway. It's an easy fix. It's just we know that Jared's gone out of those 2. The veto winner actually was Matt, and Matt decided to keep the nominations the same. So, because the nominations stayed the same, we didn't have to worry about Blue doing any switch ups at all anyway, or Matt doing any switch ups. Basically, this 5-person alliance powerhouse this double eviction, and they made the choice to target Jared just as much as they were targeting Cameron. Jared, you blew up the week last week, and it was nothing to it for Corey to come back for you after that blow up, and that was crazy. I don't really want to talk about the veto competition in detail because I really can't really describe. It's the same type of competition that they do every time they do a double eviction, where it's like they're running to retrieve something out of a ball pit. They're trying to dig for a certain thing in a ball pit, and they have to run it out to the other side. Matt won it. He's the fastest, and he's proven to be the fastest. He's an Olympic star. So honestly, Matt is really probably the most physical threat in the house right now. So I think they should watch that. But he won the veto competition and kept the nominees the same. With a vote of 6-1, Jared was evicted from the house. That one vote that kept him there is, of course, his mom. But that doesn't mean that the game is over for both Cameron and Jared. Because as soon as Jared goes out of the house, Julie calls Cameron back out onto the stage because there wasn't an official exit interview with Cameron either, or any videos that they was goodbye messages to even watch. But Julie announces that it's a possibility that their game is not over. They're actually going to go back inside of the Big Brother house this week, and this week is done differently. This Scaryverse week is actually not going to be played like a normal week. We won't have an HOH, we won't have a veto competition, and there is not going to be an eviction next week. But there will be a resurrection. So what that means is, instead of it being an eviction next Thursday, it's going to be someone out of Jared and Cameron coming back into the Big Brother house. But right now, they're currently Big Brother zombies. And according to what that is in the game, is they're just like dead players in the game, living in the game for the week. And I don't know what's going to happen throughout the game this week that's going to provoke them to have the opportunity to kind of come back into the game. But Julie made it clear that it's things that's going to happen this week that will give them the chance to come back into the game. I feel like it's going to be like an ultimate battle. I feel like it'll be a battle between Jared and Cameron at the end of the day on Thursday. A live resurrection that we'll see them coming right back into the game, and we'll actually see the exit interview of the person that's officially leaving the game. Out of the two, who do I think that can possibly come back? Both of them are actually good physical game players. Cameron, I think, probably is a little slightly better than Jared. I mean, as many veto competitions that he won to save himself from that block, he has proven that he is a beast. So if it's like an endurance competition for Jared and Cameron to participate in, I honestly am rooting for Cameron to come back into the game. Jared, he just does not know how to play, and honestly, he is a danger to his mother's game. At this point, he can just stay out. But they're both still living in the house this week, so I don't know how actually it's going to be played out. Honestly, Cameron could have some knowledge, and he could pitch better than Jared, honestly, to be brought back into the house. But who knows? But this writer strike or whatever they got going on, because usually Big Brother probably will be going off around this time. Big Brother is we're in the middle of the season, which is just throwing me completely off. And as my schedule is getting busier and busier, it's getting hectic to try to record my podcast. But I will continue to record on for you guys. Of course, I will. But with that being said, there is a schedule shift in Big Brother, and we have Big Brother coming on later on Sunday again, and I'm pretty sure that's because of the football season. Sunday, it's coming on at 10 o'clock. There won't be an episode on Wednesday, simply because there's no need to have an episode on Wednesday if there's no veto competition. Wednesday is usually the veto competition. And on Thursday, the live episode is being moved to 9 o'clock. I don't know why they even moved it to 8 o'clock this week, but either way, it's been moved back to 9 o'clock where we will see the live resurrection of Cameron or Jared's game. This episode for Big Brother, I did not have an MVP player because there really wasn't that much strategy for me to pick an MVP player for this game. So this episode, we have no MVP player at all, which is weird. I don't have anything to talk about as far as alliances, except for the fact that there is a 5-person alliance, and I named them as Corey, America, Jag, Blue, and Matt. But there isn't any significance done in this episode for me to highlight. Just that it's been a double eviction, and we have an interesting, never-before twist in the game that is coming, which is the Big Brother zombies. We've never had anybody just live a dead game. Well, actually we had. That season when we had David and I think, what was his name? Cliff. They were dead characters in their season at the beginning of their game. It's not necessarily called dead characters, but they were campers. I don't know what they were called on that season, but they weren't live players in the game, but they were basically living in the house, trying to get their opportunity back to come back into the house. That's the only time I can recall this actually happening in the Big Brother USA game. This is stuff that happens in Big Brother Canada that I've seen, or Big Brother Australia that I've watched, but not America. So having this dynamic where we having the dead players, these zombies, come back into the house, and the possibility to come back to battle, to come back into the house, it's just really cool. It's really nice, and it's an interesting dynamic, and I want to see, because of the type of personalities these two people are, how they will impact the game, though they're not really playing. Will they try to talk some type of strategy? Obviously, Jared's mom is in the game, so we can see that he can try to do something to try to figure out some information to help his mom play, because her game right now is looking kind of whack and sad, and she's looking like she might be heading out soon because her game is looking kind of weak. But, like I said, Jared could be a soldier for her even while he's not really playing in the game this week. Who knows? And Cameron, he's been working alone. Who knows? He could actually have people work with him just with the idea of them knowing that he's not really a live player in the game. They might tell him more information. Who knows? But we basically discussed the double eviction, how Cameron was a target, how Jared has had that whole thing basically backfire on him. Even though he's targeted Cameron, he was the next one out. And we talked about the stance of the 5-person alliance. Now that the 5-person alliance reigns supreme during this episode, I am eager to see the diary sessions for Sunday night's episode, so we can actually see what they were actually thinking during this time of the double eviction. That would be really cool. I'll probably have more insight about their alliance, and then we'll have more insight about what other people stand. I find it very funny that Julie did bring up the fact that Bowie Jane, she needs to, as the numbers are dwindling down in the house, that Bowie Jane has to start, her game has to start revealing itself right before she went in to vote for Cameron, which is true. But I feel like Bowie Jane is such a floater in this game that I don't even know if she'll ever have a stance in the game. She'll probably float all the way into the end until they kick her out, honestly. And I wonder if the person that, out of Cameron and Jared, the first person that leaves, will they be the first person that go into the jury house? Who knows? I really want to see who's going into the jury too. We'll see. But that was the live eviction, and we will check on what will happen next Sunday on the Sunday night's episode. Since there isn't an HOH, it's not an HOH episode, so I'm not really sure what to look out for the next episode. But it'll be some, I guess, hopefully some new competition, some have-not stuff, some strategy talk, more stuff to recap what we just saw for the double eviction. And that's what we're looking out for. I have no Twitter updates, and but maybe this week I'll probably have some Big Brother live feed updates, because there necessarily isn't a normal game this week. So anyway, that's it for the Doctor's Notes podcast. Guess you guys can tune in next time. Peace out. Thank you so much for tuning into the Doctor's Notes podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you found value in what you heard today, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. For more updates and Doc's Castle content, follow me on my social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Doc's Castle. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics that you'd like to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out to me via email at docscastlemediainfo@gmail.com. Remember, your support means the world to me, and I'm grateful to have you as a listener. But until next time, peace out.